What happens when federal investigators start digging into Nike's athlete promotion decisions? You get the real story behind why Caitlin Clark's signature shoe was delayed while A'ja Wilson got the red carpet treatment. The federal subpoena reveals Nike tracked race data for hiring, firing, and even endorsement promotions since 2018. Could this be the reason why Nike is now suddenly doing a 180 by promoting Clark and abandoning their failed Wilson experiment? Her shoes aren't selling despite months on the market, while Clark's are predicted to sell out in minutes. Why is Nike suddenly choosing Clark over Wilson? Let me know down in the comments below.
Nike is being investigated by the federal government over its DEI policies. The U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission wants the court to enforce the subpoena it issued to Nike as it pursues allegations that the apparel giant discriminates against white workers.
The Equal Employment Opportunity Commission doesn't mess around when they smell foul play. They quietly served Nike with a federal subpoena demanding every piece of promotion and hiring data from the last 6 years. We're talking about spreadsheets, emails, meeting notes, and yes, race tracking information for every major decision Nike made since 2018. Nike had been doing something most companies try to hide. They collected detailed demographic data on athlete endorsements, mentoring programs, and leadership opportunities. Every time they chose one athlete over another, they documented the racial breakdown. Every marketing budget allocation got tracked by athlete demographics. Every promotional campaign received a demographic analysis before launch.
We talked about this with the WNBA and their treatment of Caitlin Clark. Now Nike finds themselves in the crosshairs. Nike is being investigated by the federal government over allegations of systemic race discrimination against white workers, including through its DEI initiatives.
Federal investigators discovered Nike deliberately suppressed certain high-performing athletes to maintain what they called a brand narrative. The company's internal communications revealed discussions about which athletes fit their desired public image and which ones needed to wait their turn. Performance metrics took a back seat to demographic considerations when Nike allocated marketing resources between different athletes. The investigation uncovered Nike's hiring and firing patterns followed similar demographic tracking. Layoff decisions included race data analysis. Promotion criteria factored in demographic representation goals. Nike treated their athlete roster like a corporate diversity quota system rather than merit-based partnerships. Nike's internal documents exposed the most damaging evidence. They tracked race data for every major endorsement decision and promotional campaign launch. Spreadsheets showed which athletes received priority marketing support based on demographic factors rather than commercial potential or fan engagement. Meeting minutes revealed executives discussing how to balance their athlete portfolio according to racial representation rather than marketability.
Federal agency seeks court order for information related to systemic race discrimination allegations that athletic footwear and apparel giant discriminated against white workers, including via Nike's DEI programs. St. Louis. The U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission announced today that the federal agency filed an action in federal court to compel Nike to produce information related to allegations that the company discriminated against white workers, including as a result of Nike's diversity, equity, and inclusion related 2025 targets and other DEI-related objectives.
The federal probe revealed a disturbing pattern where certain athletes with strong performance metrics received significantly less marketing support than their demographic counterparts. Nike's own sales data showed some athletes generated higher engagement and merchandise sales, but still received reduced promotional budgets. The company appeared to intentionally limit marketing campaigns for specific athletes to maintain what executives called strategic demographic balance. Evidence suggests Nike deliberately delayed major marketing campaigns and shoe launches to preserve a particular public image. Athletes who should have received immediate promotional support found themselves waiting months or years, while Nike promoted others with weaker commercial metrics. The timing of these delays directly correlated with demographic considerations rather than performance or marketability factors.
Caitlin Clark went crazy her rookie season. A question we all were asking ourselves, Where's Nike during this? Why isn't there any promotion from Nike during this? No marketing, no commercial. What's going on? No t-shirts, no merch. What's happening? No signature line yet? Can somebody fill me in?
The federal investigation exposed how Nike's corporate DEI policies influenced athlete promotion decisions in ways that potentially violated fair practice standards. The company created a system where demographic representation took priority over athletic achievement and commercial success. Their own tracking data proved they made endorsement and marketing decisions based on racial quotas rather than merit-based criteria. This federal pressure explains Nike's sudden strategy reversal and their desperate scramble to course correct. The company realized their demographic-based decision-making had created legal liability while simultaneously backing the wrong athletes commercially. Nike needed to pivot quickly before federal investigators recommended formal charges for discriminatory business practices.
You think if these allegations are happening at the base level, the hiring level, the training level, the promotion level, it's not happening at the marketing level? It's not happening at the, okay, well, she might be the biggest star, but DEI initiative, we got to put this person in front instead. Up, DEI initiative, we got to put this shoe at the back burner and put this shoe at the forefront. Up, DEI initiative, we can't waste our resources making a commercial for the biggest star. We can't do that.
While federal investigators comb through Nike's files in boardrooms across the country, Caitlin Clark has basically set up camp at Nike headquarters in Oregon. She's not just visiting for a photo shoot or signing autographs. Clark is working side by side with Nike's top designers and engineers to create her signature shoe. The woman who was supposedly held back by Nike's demographic policies now has unlimited access to their most advanced technology labs. Nike executives cleared their calendars to accommodate Clark's extended stays at headquarters. She's meeting with the same design teams that created shoes for Michael Jordan and LeBron James. The company assigned their most experienced engineers to Clark's project, giving her input on every detail from the sole design to the lacing system. Nike's leadership team attends her feedback sessions personally, taking notes on her preferences and suggestions. The timing raises serious questions about Nike's motivations. Right as federal investigators examine their athlete promotion practices, Nike suddenly treats Clark like basketball royalty. The company that allegedly suppressed her marketing campaigns now fast-tracks every aspect of her shoe development. Nike's board approved budget increases for Clark's project that they previously denied for other athletes.
I believe that Caitlin Clark signed on with Nike, and I had a feeling that when Nike signed her, they were like, oh, full steam ahead. We're going to market the shit out of Caitlin Clark, yada, yada, yada. And then I believe these comments happened from what was, at the time, their biggest marketable women's basketball star, A'ja Wilson. Remember right before Caitlin Clark came into the league? All right, she gave an interview talking about A'ja Wilson with the AP in 2024, and she was talking about race and marketability.
Clark revealed on the New Heights podcast that her signature shoe will feature full-foot cushioning technology Nike has never used in basketball footwear before. The cushioning system adapts to different court surfaces and playing styles, something Nike's engineers have been developing for years but never implemented. Clark tested dozens of prototypes during her headquarters visits, providing feedback that shaped the final technology specifications. Nike's research and development team created exclusive colorway designs specifically for Clark's approval. She reviewed color combinations, material textures, and branding elements during multiple headquarters sessions. The company's marketing department developed promotional concepts around Clark's personal brand story, something they reportedly failed to do adequately when she first joined Nike's roster.
Were you super involved in that process as well?
Yeah, for sure. And like, obviously I'm pretty like picky about what I wear. Like I like a certain two Kobe models. So like I knew whatever I was going to put in my own shoe, it need to be like the equivalent of that technology or even better. And it's going to be even better. I'm not going to say exactly what it is because I think it'll get people excited about it. And I think even like the Chinese market, like I was talking to some people at Nike, like over in China, like they'll cut open the inside of the Kobe's and like show people the technology that's on the inside of the shoe because they're like, that means a lot to them. Like they want to know what they're getting out of the product.
Right.
Wow.
So I thought that was like really fascinating.
They're about to cut that open? That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. So it better be made well.
Nike executives are throwing resources at Clark's shoe launch that they previously allocated to other athlete partnerships. The company reassigned marketing staff from existing campaigns to focus exclusively on Clark's product development. Nike's manufacturing division received priority orders to produce Clark's shoes ahead of other scheduled releases. The company's sudden investment in Clark represents their desperate attempt to prove they can identify and support marketable talent without federal oversight. Nike needs a commercial success story to offset the negative publicity from the discrimination investigation. Clark's shoe launch has become their opportunity to demonstrate merit-based athlete promotion rather than demographic quota fulfillment.
I know I need that technology everywhere. So that's honestly been a huge part of, the process and the creation of the shoe is like it being comfortable and exactly kind of what I need. And the technology that we're going to put into it isn't anything that they've ever put into a basketball shoe before. So I'm really excited about that.
That's exciting.
Nike's design team incorporated Clark's specific performance requirements into the shoe's technical specifications. She requested enhanced ankle support for her aggressive playing style and improved traction patterns for quick direction changes. The company's biomechanics experts analyzed Clark's movement patterns to customize the shoe's internal structure for her unique athletic needs. This headquarters takeover signals Nike's complete commitment to making Clark their new face of women's basketball, replacing the failed strategies that landed them under federal investigation. Walk into any Foot Locker or Dick's Sporting Goods right now, and you'll find A'ja Wilson's signature shoes sitting on clearance racks. Her shoes launched months ago with all the fanfare Nike could muster: professional photo shoots, social media campaigns, and prime retail placement in every major sporting goods store across America. Wilson got the full Nike treatment that athletes dream about when they sign their first endorsement deal.
I kept thinking the best player in the league should have her own shoe, not just about shoes.
You think?
Yes. Right? I want to get your thoughts on that.
Because you don't need my thoughts. You already know my thoughts.
But that's how young kids, when you're a fan of LeBron, you're a fan of A'ja. I'd love to get your thoughts on that.
She needs her own shoe. Let me answer that. She is the two-time MVP. I'll toot her horn because she won't. Olympic gold medalist, best defensive player, 2 years running. Her team's stop.
The numbers tell a brutal story about consumer rejection. Wilson's shoes remain widely available at full retail price, which means one thing in the sneaker world: nobody wants them. Nike projected strong sales based on Wilson's MVP awards and championship rings. They manufactured thousands of pairs expecting sellout crowds and waiting lists. Instead, retailers started offering discounts within weeks of the launch date. Nike quietly pulled Wilson's marketing budget and redirected those dollars toward Clark's upcoming shoe release. The company's advertising team received orders to scale back Wilson's promotional campaigns. Her social media support disappeared almost overnight. Nike's marketing executives stopped attending Wilson's events and photo shoots. The company reassigned Wilson's dedicated marketing staff to other athlete partnerships.
If you look at the top shoes worn in the NBA, obviously, it is the Nike Kobe 6 and Nike Kobe 5. But if you guys don't know, the most popular colorways of the two most popular shoes are both Caitlin Clark colorways. That's kind of crazy.
Major retailers now offer Wilson's shoes at 20 to 30% discounts. Foot Action moved her signature line to the sale section. Champs Sports reduced her display space to make room for other brands. Even online retailers like Eastbay feature Wilson's shoes in their clearance categories. These discount prices signal that demand never materialized despite months of availability and promotion. Sneaker industry experts predict Clark's shoes will sell out within minutes of their official release. Pre-order interest for Clark's signature line already exceeds anything Wilson generated during her entire campaign. Athletic retailers report more customer inquiries about Clark's upcoming shoes than any women's basketball product in recent history. The contrast between consumer excitement for Clark versus indifference toward Wilson couldn't be more obvious.
Nobody has gained more in terms of their hype than Aja Wilson because of Caitlin Clark. Because let's be real, like Caitlin Clark is a like Aja Wilson is being objectively known as the GOAT right now, and nobody was calling Aja Wilson the GOAT before this Caitlin Clark time.
Wilson's controversial behavior and toxic reputation have made corporate sponsors nervous about long-term partnerships. Her public tantrums and jealous comments about other players create brand liability that companies want to avoid. Nike's marketing research shows Wilson's negative personality traits actively turn off potential customers who might otherwise buy women's basketball products. Nike's internal sales data reveals Wilson's shoe performance falling dramatically short of conservative projections. The company expected modest but steady sales based on her athletic achievements. Instead, Wilson's shoes generated some of the weakest sales numbers in Nike's women's basketball category. Nike executives realized they needed to cut their losses and redirect resources toward athletes with genuine commercial appeal.
You had the reaction at the time, the delayed not denied post from Aja Wilson, and then Asia's shoe comes out and so on and so forth, and that was a big rollout. And there was speculation that Nike was worried about stepping on toes or offending anybody by launching CC's shoe ahead of everybody else, even though she got the big deal and is the most popular and all that, but it's coming.
Clark's shoes already dominate NBA courts as the top 2 most worn basketball shoes among professional players. Her signature line hasn't even officially launched yet, but NBA athletes choose to wear Clark's designs over established brands and veteran athlete partnerships. This unprecedented pre-launch success proves that marketability comes from genuine fan connection rather than corporate forcing. Wilson's commercial failure demonstrates that athletic talent alone cannot overcome personality problems that alienate potential customers. Nike learned that investing in the wrong athlete damages both immediate sales and long-term brand reputation in ways that take years to repair.
But it's coming. And I think what it really means is, number one, Nike is going all in on Caitlin Clark after a while, after a little bit of a dormant period. Number two, 2026 is going to be just absolutely massive for her from a marketing standpoint because of that injury. And, because there's going to be such a thirst and hunger to see her play.
Aja Wilson found out about Nike's strategy shift the same way everyone else did, through leaked reports and industry whispers. The woman who thought she owned women's basketball suddenly realized her corporate sponsors were moving on without even a phone call. Sources close to Nike's marketing team report Wilson's reaction was anything but professional when she discovered her reduced promotional budget and Clark's increased investment. Wilson reportedly called emergency meetings with her representatives after learning about Nike's resource reallocation. Her agents received angry phone calls demanding explanations for why her marketing support disappeared overnight. Wilson's team scrambled to arrange damage control meetings with Nike executives who had already moved on to other priorities. The meetings reportedly featured Wilson expressing her frustration about being sidelined for Clark.
Aja Wilson is her name. Quote, "It doesn't matter what we all do as Black women, we're still going to be swept underneath the rug. That's why it boils my blood when people say it's not about race, because it is."
Her public complaints about recognition reached new levels of desperation with her social media campaign practically screaming, "I have a shoe too." Wilson started posting workout videos wearing her signature shoes with captions highlighting her achievements. She shared throwback photos from her Nike signing ceremony. Wilson even posted side-by-side comparisons of her stats versus other players. The desperation was obvious to anyone following women's basketball. Wilson's toxic behavior toward Clark and other players created exactly the reputation problem that sponsors avoid at all costs. Corporate partners want athletes who build their brands rather than create controversy and negative headlines. Wilson's public jealousy and entitled attitude made Nike executives nervous about long-term association with her personal brand. Companies invest millions in athlete partnerships expecting positive returns, not public relations nightmares. Wilson spent years being treated as the automatic face of women's basketball without proving she could drive commercial success. She received awards, accolades, and media attention based on her basketball performance. Wilson expected corporate sponsors to follow that same pattern, without considering whether fans actually connected with her personality. She assumed athletic achievement automatically translated to marketability and endorsement value.
That's crazy because literally nobody asked, and sources close to Asia Wilson decided to answer anyway.
Clark's humble approach and team-first mentality made Nike's decision incredibly easy when they needed to choose their primary women's basketball focus. Clark credits teammates, coaches, and fans for her success, rather than demanding personal recognition. Wilson's demanding attitude and constant need for validation created stark contrast that highlighted why one athlete builds lasting commercial appeal while another alienates potential supporters. Wilson's obvious jealousy actually helps Clark's brand by creating a clear narrative about genuine versus manufactured stardom. Fans can easily identify authentic personalities versus entitled athletes who expect success without earning it. Wilson's public frustration with Clark's success demonstrates exactly why corporate sponsors prefer working with athletes who handle competition gracefully, rather than throwing tantrums. Team USA's roster decisions reflected Wilson's damaged reputation extending far beyond Nike's corporate offices. Basketball officials chose Clark while passing on Wilson despite her athletic credentials. Her behavior problems and toxic reputation influenced decisions at every level of women's basketball organization. Wilson's meltdown accelerated Nike's full commitment to Clark by showing them the consequences of backing athletes with personality problems rather than genuine marketability and fan connection.
For Caitlin Clark to be back at the Nike headquarters is legendary, bro. I just gotta be honest. Nike has definitely had their share of not doing nothing for Caitlin Clark. I'll be one of the first people to tell y'all, I feel as if Caitlin Clark, well, at first I thought Caitlin Clark wasn't getting the Nike treatment, but it looked like she really is.
The federal investigation accidentally exposed what fans already knew all along. Caitlin Clark deserved the spotlight that Nike artificially held back through their demographic quota system. While investigators dug through spreadsheets and emails, they uncovered the truth about corporate politics overriding genuine talent and marketability. Nike's desperate pivot to Clark proves that merit and fan connection will always triumph over boardroom manipulation. The company learned the hard way that backing the wrong athlete creates both legal problems and commercial disasters. Clark's technological breakthrough shoe launch will demonstrate what happens when a company finally supports the right athlete from the start. Why is Nike suddenly choosing Clark over Wilson? Let me know down in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next one.